Today we are doing Chicago album review. Chicago, or Chicago 2, you could call it, from 1970. Here we go. It was released on January 26, 1970. It's once again produced by James William Guercio. And Chicago 2 has 23 tracks for 66 minutes. The album cover, it's this shiny, metallic looking silver concept with the iconic Chicago logo on it right here. John Berg is the designer. He was inspired by the Coca-Cola logo with this cursive and the big C, and it's not exactly the same as the Coca-Cola logo, as this is a thicker font, and I think it's even a little bit more fancier. But okay, that's what they were going for, and this is on basically all their albums. Now, what I have here is this is a remaster from 2002 from Rhino. It came in this set. This is a single CD, and the original version on vinyl is a double album. But oh, look at that. You can see all the rainbows in it. But all these discs kind of look like this. They say Chicago on the disc. And on the back, you've got all the tracks here. There's a couple of bonus tracks on the bottom, a couple of their singles, Make Me Smile and 25 or 64. I won't go over those singles because they're basically the same, just shorter. There isn't too much difference. Okay. This album, it sounds like jazz or jazz fusion, or as ProgArchives.com calls it, jazz rock fusion. I mean, it's a jazz album to me. That's why I like Chicago. The musicnotes.com is the main authority for this review on music composition. That's where I've been going to for Chicago. They seem to have it right, at least. I got to stand by something that's reputable, and I'm not good enough to just do it from ear. So we'll use musicnotes.com, except where I note in specific situations. Track 1 is Moving In, James Pankow, 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Terry Kath is on lead vocals, but you can hear the others in the background during the We Know It part. And I believe that's Walter, Robert, Peter, and Lee. So the other two are lead singers, and then the other two do background vocals quite a bit for Chicago. This song has a real jazz fusion feel to it. It's in the key of C major with a real slow beat in 4/4 time. The verses, we know it's hard for you to see that is all we want to be. And then there's a solo, which it runs from 1 minute 18 seconds to 2 minutes and 42 seconds, or about 1 minute and 24 seconds total. First, the entire brass section, then the trumpet at about 2 minutes and 5-ish seconds. Then the trombone, believe it's the trombone at about 2 minutes and 25-ish mark. Then everybody plays up until 2:42. That's what it sounds like to my ears. I could be wrong, and if I am, I don't mind corrections in the comments. But the first song has a real Yes vibe to me, and the song arrangement is a verse, those solo spots, and then a second verse, and then that's the end of the song. The second track is called The Road. It's a Terry Kath song, 3 minutes and 10 seconds long, and lead vocals by Peter Cetera. It's in the key of C major as notated, but the first chord is an A major, and the first note is a C sharp, so I think that's interesting. It's in 4/4 time, moderate tempo. The verse, if you'd like to get together, then come right over to me. Oh, we can do anything that you'd like to do. It's 8 bars plus some bars in between verses just to play with. And then the bridge is, now please don't misunderstand my loneliness. Let's never ever talk of time. It's a very long bridge. I lost count of the number of bars. More than 20 bars, we'll say. I lost count after 16 bars. There's no solos in The Road, and there's no intermission. It's a verse, bridge, verse. Track 3 is in the key of C major. At musicnotes.com, at least that's what they say, musicscore.com has the tenor sax part scored at F major. I don't know which is right. Probably the C major. They use C major a lot. It's in 4/4 time, played freely. The verse is sung by Robert Lamb. If the people only knew, if they could only visualize, for about 12 bars. And then the chorus is everybody singing, the world's a funny place, you know most of what goes on, and it goes on for about 12 bars. And then there's a break. And the break is about 55 seconds, from 2:25-ish to about 3:20-ish is the break. And it's a fast dot 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 dot. And it does that. And then there's a second break in the song from 4 minutes and 1 second to about 4 minutes and 27 seconds, or about half the time of the first break at 26 seconds. And it kind of mimics what the first break does. The song structure for Poem for the People is a verse, chorus, break, verse, the second break, and then the last chorus. That's Poem for the People. Track 4 is In the Country by Terry Kath. 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Lead vocals by Terry Kath. Peter Cetera joins Terry on vocals, starting with the chorus, and they sing together for the rest of the song. It's in the key of A major and moderate tempo and 4/4 time. The verse is, oh, my reasons and my ways keep on changing from day to day, 8 bars. And then the chorus, let me tell you now, I do love you, oh, 12 bars. Terry sings the first lines, and then Peter sings the last line of the first chorus. And the chorus is 12 bars. There's a bridge part in this song. Well, it's a beautiful day, and I'm on my way. Oh, thank you, Lord, for the country. And it goes on. It's 8 bars. I think that's Terry singing that, if I remember correctly. And the solo, there's no solos, but there's excellent lead guitar playing and fills, and the brass is very present in the choruses. And I suppose you could call the last 45 seconds or so of the song like an instrumental outro with great playing by everybody. And this is one of the cooler songs on the album. It's a verse, chorus, bridge, and then the rest of the song is verse, chorus, verse. In the Country, a Terry Kath song. Track 5 on Chicago 2 is Wake Up Sunshine by Robert Lamb. 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Lead vocals by Robert Lamb, but Peter Cetera has some spots, and so does the rest of the group in vocal harmonies. It's in the key of C major in a 4/4 time with moderate rock tempo. The chorus, Robert Lamb sings, wake up sunshine, open your sleepy eyes for me. And then everybody sings, ain't having you hiding. It's 6 bars. And then the verse is Robert Lamb singing, I've been waiting all the night, people waiting for the sunshine, 8 bars. 8 bars of verse. And then the bridge part of the song is, you know I'm talking to you, I know you're knowing it too, so just stop hiding your face. It's about 10 bars plus a couple of bars just to come back to the chorus. There's no solos in this song either, but the last 10 or 15 seconds has a cool sounding guitar part. There's just a lot of cool guitar parts laced into this album. The song structure for Wake Up Sunshine is chorus, verse, and then a bridge, and then chorus, verse, outro. It's one of those songs where the chorus starts first, like the Beatles used to do that. And that's Wake Up Sunshine. Now we get to track 6, Make Me Smile by James Pankow. It's 3 minutes and 16 seconds, and lead vocals by Terry Kath, but everybody gets in on the vocal harmonies again. And this was also a single that they released as a single, and that hit number 9 in the Hot 100 charts in America, or whatever, the Hot 100. It's in the key of E flat major or C minor. Now it depends. I can't believe a song called "Make Me Smile" is in a minor key, so I'll say it's an E flat major, even though I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, just let me know. It's a bright rock tempo in 4/4 time. "Make Me Smile" has an introduction that's about 44 seconds long, and then the verse is, "Children play in the park, they don't know," and that's 12 bars, and then the chorus, "I'm so happy, that you love me." It's like, da 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 da, da 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 da. It's 12 bars, the chorus. And then there's a brass solo of about 16 bars starting at the 2 minute 15 second mark and running to about 2 minutes and 47 seconds. So that's about, if I do the math, about 32 seconds. And then after the brass solo, there is a guitar solo of about 16 bars, plus a few extra bars to get back to the chorus. But that guitar solo runs from 2 minutes and 47 seconds to about 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Again, about the 30-second mark. So, yeah, you've got about a minute of solos here. And then the song arrangement for Make Me Smile is verse, chorus, the brass solo, then the guitar solo, and then there is an abrupt switch to track 7. And this is say so much to say, so much to give. And this is part 2 of the suite. So I think I kind of skipped over it, but this is the Ballet for a Girl in Buchannon. And if you're following on the back here, it says tracks 6 through 12 are Ballet for a Girl in Buchannon. Okay, so this is the second part, and even though they're individual tracks, it kind of feels like you have separate parts to a longer suite. And so with track 7, it's like an abrupt switch. It's called So Much to Say, So Much to Give. It's part 2 of that suite. And it's a James Pankow, 1 minute and 12 seconds, lead vocals by Robert Lamb. It's in the key of C major and a slow tempo in 4/4 time. Now the verse is 11 bars. If you start counting with the singing and after the introduction, at first I was totally fooled by the song thinking it was in 3/4 time because it feels like a waltz. But the score at musicnotes.com has it in 4/4 time with a slow time signature like 60 beats per minute or less. Math is math, so you could easily count it in 3/4 time or 6/8 time to make sense of it. But it's, well, let's go 11 bars if you start counting with the singing and after the introduction, okay? So hard to be, free to, lonely, only you, people staring at me, try to take you away. That's the verse, okay? And then that segues into track 8, which is called Anxiety's Moment. It's the next part of Ballet for a Girl in Buchannon. It's also James Pankow and 1 minute and 1 second. It starts with a trumpet, bump bump bum bum. So so hard to be, bump bump ba bump, take you away. Okay, from part 2. That's in the key of D flat major, or it's in 4/4 time moderately, and it's instrumental. And that's pretty much the whole bump bump ba bump. And then track 9 is West Virginia Fantasies, which is also all this is James Pankow. It's 1 minute and 34 seconds. The trumpet continues in the lead, but the interesting part here is the chord key progressing. So key A flat major, and the first chord is a A flat D flat. It just sounds cool. You don't hear a lot of songs in A flat major. And I'll talk about the chords at the end, okay? It's moderate tempo. It's in 3/4 time, and it feels like a waltz. So whereas Anxiety's Moment is scored in 4/4 time, this one is actually in 3/4 time in a waltz beat, and it's all instrumental. And then track 10 is Color My World, James Pankow, 3 minutes and 1 second. This has vocals in it by Terry Kath, and it's a single that they released as a single song and hit number 7 in the American Hot 100 charts. Color My World is in key of F major, and it's a moderate tempo in 12/8 time. It feels like a waltz, but it's in it has eighth notes. Eighth note gets 1 beat, and it's 12 beats per measure, okay? So it's very weird to see. But in verse of Color My World, it's 3 bars counting in 12/8 time. And counting, it's just a little bit faster than 60 beats per minute. It's very difficult to count. The verse goes, as time goes on, I realize just what you mean to me. And now that you're near. And Terry's just really belting it out. I mean, it sounds so cool. It's only 3 bars. It's at 12/8 time, that's what, 36? Yeah, 12 times 3 is 30, 36 beats. But it's such a slow tempo. Okay, track 11 is To Be Free. It's also James Pankow. All these are James Pankow, and it's 1 minute 15 seconds, and it's part 6 of this suite, Ballet for a Girl in Buchannon. Bump, 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 bump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's very cool. It's in the key of F major. It's very bright 4/4 time in an instrumental, and that's To Be Free by James Pankow. Track 12 is Now More Than Ever, and this is the final. It's 1 minute 26 seconds, lead vocals by Kath. This is the final track of the suite, so you go back to the lead of Make Me Smile. It's back to the key of A flat major in a 4/4 time driving rock, and the verse is, now I need you, oh yeah, more than ever, oh yeah. No more crying. Oh, it's like it's just like Make Me Smile. So in that aspect, okay, let's do it. The end of the suite, Ballet for a Girl in Buchannon. The interesting part of the suite is the chord progression and the change of time from 4/4 to more of a waltz feel in parts 2, 4, and 5. Part 2 is So Much to Say, part 4 is West Virginia Fantasies, and then part 5 is Color My World. But the other cool part of the ballet suite is it begins one way and it ends the exact same way. Almost like you're telling a story. So like a story has a beginning and an ending, and then in the middle it does something different, and it's the hero. It's just a really cool song. Ballet for a Girl in Buchannon, and the whole suite is 6 tracks, and it's good. Track 13 is Fancy Colors. It's a Robert Lamb track, and it's 5 minutes 10 seconds, lead vocals by Peter Cetera. It's in the key of B flat major, which is the first chord is a B flat, A flat, again, which is also in Now More Than Ever and West Virginia Fantasies. So it seems like this part is part of the ballet suite, but it is in fact its own song written by Robert Lamb. It's not part of the James Pankow suite. It's in 4/4 time, and it's a very slow beat. The verse is, going where the orange sun has never died and your swirling marble eyes shine. It's 16 bars sung and played slowly. And Peter Cetera is the singer. He's like the singer of the band, whereas Kath is like the Ray Charles of the band. Peter's like singing this out. He's like really belting it out in his Peter Cetera way. The chorus is, he's just singing fancy colors, fancy colors. There's a big tempo change here, or a time signature change. So if you count this at the same slow pace at the first verse, it's only 4 bars. But if you count it at a faster pace, it doubles, and so does the rest of the verses and the choruses. So it's like a dramatic time or tempo switch, or both, however you want to look at it. The outro starts at 3 minutes 55 seconds with some keyboards and some ripping lead guitar by Kath. There's a big, long brass ending of chords for about 50 seconds. It's just, bah, and there's like a drum beat. Bah, bah. Okay, and the song structure for Fancy Colors is verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse. And that's Fancy Colors. Track 14 is 24/6/4 by Robert Lamb, 4 minutes 58 seconds. Lead vocals by Peter Cetera. Da 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 dot. Da 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 dot. This is, by the way, this is one measure or bar. And 25/6/4 is a single that hit number 4 in the Hot 100. It's in the key of C major. It's 144 beats per minute in 4/4 time. And the verse, waiting for the break of day, searching for something to say, that goes on for about 16 bars. Da 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 da. It goes like that, okay? And then the chorus is, sitting cross-legged on the floor, 25/6/4. It's 7 bars and then some more bars to go back to the next verse. There's an instrumental that runs from 1 minute 59 seconds to 3 minutes 44 seconds. That's a long time. That's over a minute and I guess it's a minute and 45 seconds. It begins at 159 to 329, and it starts with a guitar solo on top of the da 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 da. And then at 3 minutes and 29 seconds to 3 minutes and 44 seconds is the entire band playing, and then it goes back to the third verse. So after the third verse, there's another chorus and then an outro. The outro starts at about 4 minutes and 20 seconds ish. It's a continuation of the guitar solo and then the big band ending. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, and the song arrangement for 25 or 624 is a verse, chorus, verse, chorus. The instrumental, which is the guitar solo and then the entire band playing, and then another verse and chorus. And that is 25 or 624. Now, track 15 starts another suite, for lack of better description. I'm gonna try to do this all in one shot. Okay, we call it the Memories of Love suite, and track 15 is the first of four. So the opening track is Prelude, orchestrated by Peter Matz, and it's Peter Matz and Terry Kath are credited as the songwriters. It's a minute and 10 seconds to start. It's in the key of C major, and it's moderate tempo and 4/4 time. It's in cut time, so you count it 1, 2. But that's not what it's important. It's the opening instrumental. It's like a beautiful flute and some strings for a minute and 10 seconds. And then track 16 is AM Morning. Also credited to, all these are Peter Katz and Terry Kath, okay? And it's 2 minutes and 5 seconds, key of A major. So you're going, I guess you're going up or down. A major, I guess it's 2 steps down, right? It's moderately in 4/4 time. The beginning of the instrumental is you hear a clock ticking and the strings take over with some more flute on top of it. The brass builds up at about a minute and 20 seconds. And there's something about this song, this part of the song, that reminds me of Yes Magnification. But I would have to go back and listen to that to tell you exactly what specifically. It just reminds me of Yes Magnification. Either Give Love Each Day or We Agree. I know, like, I'm going off on a big tangent here, but Yes Magnification has some beautiful orchestra-like moments in it. Side note, Magnification is an underrated album, okay? But anyway, that's AM Morning, and then track 17 is PM Morning. Terry Kath and Peter Matz, a minute 58 seconds. It's in the key of B flat major, so now we're going up a half a step, and a very slow tempo in 4/4 time. So the tempo slows down, and the instrumental is more flute, and this time there's a trombone of James Pankow playing on top. And also, it sounds like Magnification, but gets kind of like Star Trek-ish at about, I don't know how else to describe it, but at about a minute and 30 seconds in, it has like a Star Trek feel to it. And then the final track of the suite is called Memories of Love. It's credited to Terry Kath only, and it's 3 minutes and 59 seconds. This is like the main part of it. And it's in the key of G major. It's also continuing that slow tempo in 4/4 time. And the verse is 32 bars counted so slowly I can't even stand it, the counting part of it. Not the song, the counting. I needed to extrapolate the verses from the sheet of music that I saw. So I think it's about 32 bars. Terry Kath is singing, "A warm summer night, the moon up above, the stars for a wish come true, our memories of love." And it's 2 verses. And this is the end of the Memories of Love suite. Next is It Better End Soon, which is tracks 19 through 23 on the CD. I don't know how you can keep track of this if you're listening to a vinyl. But it's the next, I guess, 5 tracks, another suite of songs. Track 19, It Better End Soon, First Movement by Robert Lamb. 2 minutes and 33 seconds. It starts with a funky beat and bass and the horns going da 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 da. So, okay, it's in the key of C major, 4/4 time, hard rock beat. And the introduction lasts to a minute and 16 seconds. The verse is 6 bars, lead vocals by Terry Kath, and he's singing "Can't Stand It No More," "The People Dying," "Crying for Help," and the chorus is just a few bars. Terry Kath still on lead vocals. "Better end soon, my friend. It better end soon, my friend." Yeah, and it's a verse, chorus, verse, chorus. The second movement, "It better end soon," second movement. This is credited to Robert Lamb and Walter, who's one of the brass players. 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Key of C major, moderate tempo, 4/4 time. The instrumental is it's a new funky beat with a flute playing lead solo. The 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. It comes back at the 2-minute mark. The 1 2 3 4 5. The 5 is the second beat of the measure. So those first 4 notes, they're the 16th notes, and the 5th note is a quarter note. And then there's 2 more beats to the measure. Does that make sense, music people? And then the third movement of "It Better End Soon," also credited to Robert Lamb and Terry Kath, 3 minutes and 19 seconds. This is in the key of C minor. It has 3 flats in the measure. It's a moderate tempo and 4/4 time. Robert Lamb wrote these lyrics, but it's Terry Kath singing, and it's about Vietnam. This whole suite, like this whole, "Can't Stand It No More," "The People Dying." Now, in this part of the track, he's just screaming, "No more dying, no more killing, no more dying, no more fighting. We don't want to die, we don't want to die." I didn't bother to count this out. It's not important. The message to this song is what's important, and the Tony K-like keyboards coming from Robert Lamb. I'm not much of a hippie, but it's a good message. Terry Kath's vocals are so striking, and the guitar playing, the keyboards, and the non-stop bass groove is the coolest part of the song. The fourth movement and the last movement of the suite is called "It Better End Soon," fourth movement. Lead vocals by Terry Kath. It's 55 seconds. It's in the key of C minor. Moderate tempo and 4/4 time. And the verse is, "Can't stand it no more. The people cheating, burning each other. They know it ain't right. How can it be right?" It's a rhetorical question. And then the chorus, "Better end soon, my friend. It better end soon, my friend." The verse and the chorus of the song is 12 bars total. Altogether, plus the ending. It's a verse, chorus, outro, and that's the end of the "It Better End Soon" suite. Track 23 is the final track. It's called "Where Do We Go From Here." It's a Peter Cetera song, 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Genius says this is the first ever Peter Cetera writing for the band. It's about the moon landing. If I didn't know better, I would have thought this was "The Weight" by the band. 1968. It's not the same, but it's close enough to that it triggered that song in my mind. "Where Do We Go From Here" is in the key of D major, and it's a slow tempo and 4/4 time. The verse is, "Every day just gets a little shorter, don't you think? Take a look around you and you'll see just what I mean." And the chorus is, "Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here?" Now, if I didn't know it was about the moon landing, having read that in Genius, I would have never known, because the lyrics aren't like a dead giveaway that he's singing about the moon landing. But it's a decent track. It's a good ending to the album. It's a verse, chorus, bridge, and a verse, chorus. Let's get right to the summary. Chicago 2 sold 1.3 million, which is good for it's the number 8th selling Chicago album, behind a bunch of their greatest hits albums. And, the greatest hits albums are always the big sellers for a band. This album was number 28 in 1970, behind some good albums. Number 2, Led Zeppelin 3. Number 5, Let It Be by the Beatles. Number 11, All Things Must Pass by George Harrison. Number 16, McCartney by Paul McCartney. At number 28, this is ahead of Pink Floyd's Adam Hart Mother at number 29. Also ahead of Bitches Brew by Miles Davis at 33. This album was nominated for Album of the Year. It lost to Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. Allmusic.com gives it 4.5 stars, and PragueArchives.com, it has a user rating of 4.18, which is pretty darn good. I like the album. I enjoy it quite a bit. What I like about it is it's got standalone songs, and then it's got the one, two, I guess three suites to it. The Ballet for a Girl is the James Pankow suite. The next suite is the Memories of Love suite, which I guess you could say is the Terry Kath suite. And then It Better End Soon is, I guess you could say that's the Robert Lamb suite with help from Terry Kath, if that makes sense. But I like the collaboration. I like the big the going big approach, the double album approach, the let's make it complex by having longer suites. That, to me, that's reminiscent of Yes or Pink Floyd or Rush. Just trying to build something bigger from something smaller. And I really enjoy the chord progressions in the suites, especially in Memories of Love and Ballet for a Girl. It's just really well done, and it keeps you moving, and the tempo and time signature changes. It's just really well done. It's why I like jazz, frankly, and I like the big band sound to it. Much like King Crimson in the later years, they have the big band approach. I dig it quite a bit. Next for the next review will be sometime next week. The Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles. Oops, here's their last shot of Chicago 2. Next week will be Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles, and then Adam Hart Mother. I'm hoping I'll be able to get both of those out. I'm traveling this weekend, but I should be able to make time for it by mid next week and then late next week. That's it. I'm out. Thank you, everybody.